fellow woodworkers and makers of great things. Welcome to my shop. Today I'm going to do a quick first impression video on the Oliver 10044 12.5 inch planer with the Bird Shelix cutter head. I've been looking at this planer for over a year now, and every time I kind of get serious, nobody's got it in stock. It seems very hard to get. And today I had to go to Woodcraft or something, and I looked online in advance, and they had this thing out for February 25th, I think was the expected arrival date for the next batch. I said, you know what, I'm going there anyway. Let me see if I can give them a small deposit and get my name on a list and make sure I get one next time it comes in, because they'll probably get a shipment. It'll probably be gone in a couple of days. So I figured I'd do that, and I went and I took care of my other business at Woodcraft, and I brought that up, and the guy points to the aisle right in front of my nose. They just got 6 or 8 of them in the day before. So I said, well, I guess I'll take one. Didn't plan on buying a planer today, just planned on, cementing it in with the deposit. But hey, it was there. I know all about it, and I wanted to grab it. Quick first impressions. Really nice packaging, boxed well. When you take it out of the box, it's pretty much put together already. There's very minimal assembly needed. When you flip down the bed, you find the crank knob to adjust the height, and then tucked in the opening below the cutter head is a cardboard box with just a few accessories. You're going to get a dust chute. It's a 4-inch dust chute, but it does contain a 4 to 2.5 inch adapter. I guess if you wanted to run on a shop vac, I can't imagine that being a good idea, but hey, they give you that option. It comes with 5 spare bird cutters, so those 4-sided carbide cutters. You get 5 spares in the kit. And you get a really cool 1/4 inch hand driver, really nice, chrome vanadium with made in the USA. Don't see the brand, but that's cool. And a T25 Torx bit for that driver. And the best I can tell right now, that's for changing out the carbide cutters. You also get 2 batteries for the digital readout. And they're Panasonic, so usually when batteries come with something, it's some no name or something you can't read, but they actually gave me 2 Panasonic AAA, so that's good too. I did not record the assembly because it was so easy, it would have been a waste of time. There are literally 3 thumb screws that attach the dust port to the back, and then 1 T30 screw bolts the handle to the top, and you're done. It's assembled. That's all there is to it. So let me get this camera out of the mount, and we'll do a quick walk around. Just a heads up, what I plan to do is to put together a more comprehensive video once I get it running, and I'll bring some stock to the thing. Maybe I'll do a video on stock preparation and planing on a benchtop planer. Make it a little more informative than just talking about the machine. So look for that in about a week or 2. But for now, let me go grab this camera and we'll do a walk around. All right, let's take a look at this thing. It's got most of the things you would expect from a benchtop planer, including the traditional hand crank that lowers and raises the cutter head here, give you the depth of cut. Let me get my little cheat notes. Give you some of the specs. That cutter head is stated at 2 horsepower. It's a universal motor, 120 volts. It is belt drive, and it is ball bearing driven, which is nice. The maximum width of cut is going to be 12.5 inches. The maximum depth of cut or thickness is 6 inches. The minimum thickness is 5/32, and just a quick comparison, that's like a strong 1/8 of an inch. So you're not going to get down to veneer level with this, but I don't think you can do that. You need a belt sander for that. I think the big selling point for me, or one of them, was the Bird Shelix cutter heads. If you know anything about planers, you know, the Bird Shelix is almost undisputed as the top cutter head for a planer. I don't know about, you know, industrial equipment or stuff, but certainly on small shop stuff, that's the gold standard. So that was a big push. There are 36 cutters on that cutter head in 3 different rows. Another really good feature on this that's not common to any other benchtop planers that I know is a locking cutter head. And I'm getting shaky here because I'm trying to hold my notepad. So, all right, let's get straightened out. So this lever here will lock and unlock the cutter head once you make your setting. And by stabilizing that cutter head as you go through the planing process is going to greatly reduce snipe, if not eliminate it. I can't wait to try it and find out. And we talked about that in a previous video, and I'll do it when I do my next video. We'll talk about why snipe occurs, even if you got your in-feed and out-feed tables exact and everything set up perfect, and you're an expert at feeding and pulling the stock out, why you still get snipe. And I think this is a big help. Another cool feature is there is an indicator for depth. So when you get into here, I don't know how it's showing up, there's a little tab in here. So as you lower this onto the stock, it will show you how much you're about to take off from that board that you just put in there as it presses against that lever. So I thought that was pretty cool. You know, that is something I've never had on any of my other benchtop planers. It's got a Wixie digital readout. So you've got a digital gauge. That could be really handy. I know you can't read that. But you know, the rule of thumb on planing is that you always plane all your stock at the same time, so all the thicknesses are exactly where you need them. But on the rare occasion when you got to go back and you got to, you know, mill that piece, you need to mill that drawer side to, you know, 15, 30 seconds, because when you resawed your stock, you couldn't get the 1/2 inch you started with. It was a little low. With something like this, you can go back and then replicate that cut without doing, you know, a million tiny shaving passes to get there. It has a magnetic switch. For those of you that don't know, that means that if the power goes out, the switch automatically resets to the off position, so that in the event the power comes back on, this thing isn't running. That could be dangerous for one thing, right? But you know, it could also be a problem if it goes off momentarily as you're working on it. You could stumble. You could you could get hurt. So pretty cool feature there with that. It does have depth stops. Let me see if I can get around in here. So you can set the maximum depth of cut based on your desired result using this, and that will prevent you from, you know, accidentally going past what you're looking for. If you're trying to get 1/2 inch stock, you lock this on 1/2 inch, and as you're working down to 1/2 inch and get there, it just won't go down anymore for you. You say, oh, I guess I'm at a 1/2 inch. That's also a good way to replicate stock to the same thickness if you did not plane it all in one shot like you intended and had to go back and find another piece of exactly 1/2 inch or 3/4. Not a lot of graduation there, but if it is going to be 1/2 inch, 3/4, 1/4, whatever those opportunities were to stop the blade, at least you can duplicate it that way. Otherwise, you go over here to the digital readout and you can get anything you want. Nothing much else special. Let's get around the back. Let me turn this light off or it's going to be shining right in our faces. I'm going to go on the other side. So I get a little light on back here. Come on, light. There you go. All right. So as I stated, there's your dust port. It's going to be 4 inches. Pretty cool. Nothing else too special here. They do give you a T30 Torx with a T-handle that mounts in the machine. This is what I use to tighten the handle. It also looks like most of the bolts for this are going to be T30s. So, you know, if you have to remove cutter heads or do any cleaning or maintenance, they keep that handy for you. Pretty heavy duty power cord. There's some of the specifications in there. I don't know if you can read them, but we'll take a shot for you. All right. All in all, I think it's very well built, with one minor exception. The tables are steel. I know that because my magnet stuck to it when I was holding my light on it. The frame and base appear to be aluminum. I can't tell for sure, but it's not magnetic. The one weakness I think, if there is one, is that this top is plastic, and it's a little flexible. A little disappointed in that. You would think that that would be a little more substantial. It does have some blocks up here, which are pretty cool, in that you can check the thickness of something, and it's pretty darn accurate. I just milled these to 1 inch, and that is in the 1 inch gauge. So there's different little slots here that you can put your stock in to check for distance. Goes from 1/4 to 1 1/8 on the front, and then from 1 1/4 up to 1 3/4 on the back there. So that's pretty cool. But again, this is a little flimsy, in my opinion. You know, is it going to break? Probably not. I'm not the kind who feeds over the top of the planer anyway, because I always plane here on the table, so I've got all this space over here to move my stock when I'm back around. So I work that way, but that's probably one addition they can improve on. You got a nice gauge here for the manual reading with a sight glass in addition to the digital. So that's my quick first impression of the Oliver. I'm excited to get it fired up and see how she performs, and I'll certainly bring you back in for that part of it. So hey, thanks for watching. Always appreciate it. Remember, if you like this, please click the thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. That would help me out a lot. And I will see you guys and gals all on the next video. Thank you. Well, I thought I'd take a couple of minutes here just to talk about availability and price. Okay, so this Oliver planer is $1,000 planer. It's on the higher end of things. And if you see the clips I put up from both Oliver and Woodcraft, it's not in stock. It's not available. It's not available through Rockler. Amazon doesn't list it. Acme Tools doesn't list it. There are a few internet providers, quote unquote, who have it listed and don't mention availability. You can put it in your cart, but I'm sure if you ever complete that order, you'll probably get the email. We'll notify you as soon as it ships. So, just look, you got to either get lucky or you got to get to Oliver or Woodcraft and, get on their wait list to be notified. A couple of other issues on pricing, and one of the things I based my decision on, I looked at the Jet. I'm kind of a Jet fan. They have a helical head shaper, the 13BT. It's $900, about $100 less, but it's a 24 blade head, non-branded, versus the 36 blade Bird on the Oliver. There's no digital readout. It doesn't look as meaty, as sophisticated. It kind of looks like a lunchbox planer. Obviously, the DeWalt planer is, a favorite among a lot of people. Grizzly will send you that planer with their Grizzly brand 30 blade helical head. It too will have no digital readout. Multiple other retrofits are available out there you can buy. You can even buy a Shelix and put it on to a DeWalt. At that point, you're probably well over $1,500. The Grizzly option is $1,300. Grizzly sells their own helical head planer with the same 30 blade helical head versus the 36 bird on the Oliver. But again, no digital readout. You're basically getting a Grizzly lunchbox planer with their branded helical head on it. Raycon has one for $800. Again, only 26 blade helical head, non-branded, versus the 36 blade bird. On the Oliver, there's no digital readout. And again, it's basically a lunchbox planer. So I thought I'd share some of the information about price, availability, and some of the information that I have and use to make a decision. If anybody else has any other knowledge on a good helical planer, preferably with a bird head, please post in the comments, and please post your opinions if you have one of the planers that I'm mentioning here that I did some research on. Love to hear what you have to say. Hey, thanks again, everybody.